What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to be catching up on some things, including some of my favorite highlights from all the game announcements that happened over the last few weeks. Um, but before we get to that, as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Dad Needs to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, movies, TV, and video games. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about lots of gaming stuff today later in the show, which is one of the reasons why I'm rocking my Charmander t-shirt and my Mario Odyssey cappy hat. But I'm not going to wear it all show because it is 91 degrees, even though it's like 10 o'clock at night. um, but yeah, so I'm very excited. This episode has been kind of long overdue. Granted, with the way a lot of these announcements and stuff, whatever happened, things kind of worked out, I think, for the best with me kind of waiting to not to record it because it was like, okay, originally we knew all the other stuff that was going on, and then like, okay, oops, Ubisoft is gonna slide in, and then okay, Nintendo was like, all right, well, we'll go the following week, so it all kind of worked out. And plus, and right now we're in the middle of all this Microsoft versus the FTC stuff, so we're getting a lot of juicy behind the scenes corporate information on everything. But we'll get into all of that stuff a little bit later in the show. Um, like I said, thank you so much for coming here today. I need to talk. This is a conversational show where, like I said, I have discussions and reviews around things, like I said, surrounding the topics of fatherhood and family, and then all the various media I'm consuming, whether it be the manga I'm reading, the shows or anime or movies I'm watching, or the games I'm playing. So I'll kind of start there, and I'll say if you're interested in the gaming stuff, whatever, as always, I'll have timestamps to when that stuff starts. But because it has been for a while and a lot of life stuff has happened and things are kind of shifting with how I kind of do stuff here on the podcast, I want to take a little bit of time up top to kind of talk with everybody. And so, first of all, before I get into all of that stuff, I do also want to give a huge shout out to my homie Gooch, because earlier today, congratulations to him and his family for welcoming in a healthy baby boy. So much love to my bro Gooch for the birth of his son, the birth of his second child now. So he is climbing the fatherhood ranks. but real talk, much love to you, bro, man. I know you listening. While you're running around in father mode. So, but so I hope everybody out there is doing well. It has been a little while. It's been a few weeks since I've recorded, and like I said, I kind of want to touch on that stuff kind of up front. So, and I'm gonna do like a little smaller thing next week, but I wanted to include it in this episode because I know a lot of people, or some people, over the couple of years I've been here, or whatever, I have kind of unintentionally found myself boxed into certain categories that was never really my true intention, and so I'm kind of trying to the shift some of that narrative and focus on what this show is, what my platform is. Because while yes, I do love talking about anime and manga, that is not my sole thing, you know. Yes, you will find lots of conversations and reviews for lots of anime and manga, but Dad Needs to Talk is not strictly a anime manga podcast. Like I said, I kind of found myself in that boat by my own, volition, because I was doing a lot of reviews for a lot of manga and stuff, whatever. And that's where most of my conversation skewed. But especially in this last year, I've had a lot of time to kind of like think and reflect on stuff, and just kind of just like had to like remind myself that, like, hey, I am not here strictly for anime and manga. I am here to talk about all things that I'm passionate about. As for like all the different media and stuff that I consume, but also to have conversations with people about life, their experiences, as well as also talking with people about, hey, we both watched this show, we both played this game, we both read this manga. We'll have guests on to have those conversations and stuff as well. But like I said, that is the crux that I'm wanting to stick behind, is that this is a conversational show where I talk about a variety of things. And so, with that being said, I'm sure some of y'all that have been following me for a while, y'all have kind of seen maybe like a little bit of a shift, maybe not too much, but kind of going forward, I am having to restructure how I am planning out stuff for my own well being, because and I've talked about this a little bit before, whatever, but just kind of just going over it again. I have done a horrible job when it comes to self-care, mental health, getting proper rest, all the above. Because everybody knows just from hearing me talk, seeing what I do, the life I live, that I live a very crazy and busy life. My family is very busy all year round, and I need to make certain adjustments for my betterment to reflect that, because I can't continue to operate and function at the rate that I was, which I will say, over this last year I have made some changes to where I have gotten better about how I do my recordings and stuff, to where I have, for the most part, I have like a cutoff time of like, okay, hey, after this time of night, no more recording or creating content and all of that stuff on a daily factor. My phone goes on do not disturb at 9:59 every night. So it's like, if you're not my wife or other key people I have in my life or whatever, then I'm not gonna see DMs and stuff from Twitter or Instagram or any other stuff. Like I said, a lot of those changes I made a year ago, but it just kind of like, I appreciate the people that I talk to in the community and stuff, and people who share their life experiences and stuff, because honestly, I was kind of, in a way, thinking of stuff in a weird way, to where there's people that I follow and stuff, whatever, that would be taking breaks for weeks, sometimes months. I know I have some very close people that I adore in the community and stuff, whatever. They haven't done a podcast in like 6 months to maybe a year, and sometimes I was looking at things kind of weirdly, to where I'm like, of course I don't know everybody's 100% day-to-day schedule and stuff, but like part of somewhere in the back of my brain was like, man, okay, you taking all this time or whatever, but you're not married, you ain't got no kids, and all that stuff, whatever. But here I am, married, working, 5 kids, 3 of them do sports all year round, and I'm able to still do content and record and yada yada yada. But it's like, when you really think about it, it's like, okay, Robert, if somebody who seemingly might have less going on than you, in some aspects or whatever, or taking frequent breaks and stuff, whatever, but you're not, then maybe I need to reevaluate myself. Because just because I am able to squeeze in doing a podcast here and there, or just because I am able to find time for this and that or whatever, doesn't always mean that I should. It's like, you know what? Maybe I should take note of what others are doing and saying and sharing and apply some of those practices to myself. And that is kind of what I've started doing. And like I said, I appreciate, you know, everybody and stuff, for sharing their experiences and stuff, whatever, and talking about taking breaks and all that stuff. Cause like I said, it's like I had just like a wake moment of like, yeah, Robert, yeah, just because you can't do this, maybe you shouldn't. And so with that being said, in some aspects there will be less of me, but not really in a way, because there will still be frequent uploads of reviews and discussions and episodes with guests and stuff, whatever. But the way I am recording stuff and planning stuff out, that's going to take less of a burden off of myself to always be on the ball for stuff, because what I've been doing is, while I've been watching, reading, playing, whatever, I've been recording stuff in the background quietly, and I have a bunch of stuff that's just like in the bank, saved up, on private, already uploaded, ready to go, thumbnails ready and stuff, whatever, and it's just ready for me to just schedule it and be like, all right, I'm gonna put that out this week, I'm gonna put that out next month or whatever, because like I already have something planned for that I recorded for review that's gonna come out in October. I already have a dope conversation I had with a guest that I'm kind of sitting on and saving probably for the end of July. And like I said, I have a bunch more other reviews and stuff, whatever, already in my pocket. And so I'm kind of wanting to structure myself to where I do episodes like this, like actual full podcast episodes, for sure at least once a month, maybe twice, like I said, depending on what the topic is or how things are going to go or whatever. But just trying to relieve the burden off of myself of always having to scramble to try to put something together, towards like, no, I have stuff, towards like, if I'm planning on maybe, okay, hey, I want to record this week, but life got busy or whatever, or I'm just tired, and acknowledging that I'm tired, then hey, I can just go through my catalog and be like, you know what, all right, I'll put up the review of this week, or I'll put up this dope discussion or whatever, or hey, maybe we'll just have a clear week or whatever, because y'all don't need to see me every week. I'm sure somebody out there enjoys hearing my voice, seeing my face every week, whatever. But y'all don't need to. So that is kind of the plan for how I'm trying to structure things going forward, and it's kind of fitting that this is kind of culminating at the end of a month. So like I said, so the next month I can kind of clean cut in a way going forward. But like I said, just wanted to kind of just talk with y'all up front about that, because especially this last year taught me a lot and kind of set the tone of how things are going to go for the next handful of years, probably for me life-wise, because like I've talked about before, whatever, with my older three going to middle school last fall, I knew things were going to get even busier, because now they're not only doing sports, outside of school, now they're doing sports for the school. And and now, like with my oldest son, he's doing more nationwide travel, because heck, even in the last few weeks since the last time I've recorded with y'all, like we went to Kansas for a weekend, and then my son went to Ohio this past weekend, and like next month we got potentially Florida and Vegas. So, and like I said, that's just his schedule. That's not counting my twin daughters, who also, will be going to different places and stuff. So, and then the youngest, Vash, he is eager to want to start doing stuff too. And I'm just like, but it's like I see he is 5, but I am already seeing the passion, the potential interest that he is showing in doing some stuff like his older siblings, because now he has his little backpack that he takes when we go to the games and stuff. He takes a basketball or whatever. So I'm I'm excited for it, but I'm also not, just because of how tiring my life and stuff is now. And then it's like, okay, not only or am I adding another person into the mix, but I'm adding somebody that is going to be starting from zero, versus the older three. We've been doing this for 8 years. There's some type of familiarity and expectation or whatever, and I don't have to be there every step of the way. I can just drop them off at practice and go do something else and come back. But anyway, but we'll get there. But overall, life and family, everybody's been doing well. Like I said, it's been some ups and downs with some of the kids and stuff in their sports journeys, but that happens. I do want to give a big shout out to all the families of the people from the recent NBA draft, and also any other sports drafts in general, but specifically talking about the NBA draft that happened a couple weeks ago. Just because I've always appreciated I've always appreciated though hearing the stories of what of those athletes and stuff journeys to get to this point of making it to the pro leagues and stuff. But now being a parent myself who is in the midst of this journey, and I don't know, we don't know what the future holds, as far as maybe someday I might see some of my kids maybe at a draft for something or whatever. Who knows? That's still many years. At least 7+ years from now. But I just have even more respect for it because I know the sacrifices and stuff that my family goes through, the long nights, the traveling, the very big expenses that this stuff costs, to go through this stuff to try to have an opportunity to get to the top, so to speak. And so that's why watching this draft and hearing these stories and stuff was just very, very special for me to hear. Like I said, because now I think, because I don't think I think I maybe have watched like a couple of like base highlights and stuff from past year, from like the last handful of years. But this year is the first time in a while that I can remember that I actively, athlete by athlete, listen to that whole section of them, announcing where they're going, all the way through them going up and shaking the commissioner's hand, them talking about the backstory, and then them doing the interview with them and their family and stuff, whatever. But just lots of fantastic stories and stuff. The freaking the twins, they got drafted 4 and 5 back to back, and hearing their story of also how they worked together to help their high school win a state championship some years back. The young man, I think it's Scoot. He's second youngest of 7 kids, and his 4 older sisters all played D1 basketball, and just all these fantastic stories and stuff. So just shout out to all the families, shout out to the parents and the athletes, everybody involved in those young people's journeys and stuff to get to this point. So I definitely understand. So moving on from there, I think that's it as far as like housekeeping and stuff. Like I said, from y'all's perspective, maybe I haven't really been gone that much or whatever. Y'all still been seeing some reviews and stuff. But for me, like I said, it's been a few weeks, so it's always kind of like trying to getting the wheels turning again, which that might kind of be a thing going forward, where when I do these actual full podcast episodes, having to try like, okay, like what all have I done since the last time or whatever. But I also feel like that'll kind of give more and better conversations, because y'all don't necessarily need to know what all going on week to week to week to week for me, whatever it be. I think it'd be kind of more fun to kind of go away for a few weeks. And yeah, y'all will still see reviews or other discussions or stuff with guests, whatever in between. And then when I come back, it's like, yo, this is all what's going on. This is what's been happening. Yada, 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 yada. So yeah, so. Didn't plan on talking for that long, whatever, but hey, this is Danny's to talk. So I'm always going to talk. So let's see what I'm going to jump into next. I'm going to touch on briefly some other stuff. I went and saw a movie the other day. Let me look it up. It is called Asteroid City. It is a Wes Anderson movie. Now, I've never watched any of his other works and stuff, so, but this was definitely not your not your normal movie, but the visual look of it was enough, along with this insane cast of characters with a lot of these people I don't think I've ever seen in the same movie or show, whatever, together. So I'm just gonna read off some of this cast. One of the main characters, I don't know this guy, this Jason Schwartzman, don't know him, but the rest: Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Edward Newton, Adrian Brody, Liev Schreier, Stephen Park, Maya Hawke, Steve Carell, Matt Dillon, William Dafoe, Margot Robbie. Y'all, that is freaking insane. But I don't really even know how to really describe what this movie is. But I guess I'll just read the synopsis. So, the itinerary of a junior space cadet convention is particularly interrupted by a world-changing event. So it's kind of like it was kind of like a movie where Bryan Cranston was kind of like the narrator person, but it's kind of like all these kind of like self-aware thing within a thing. So it's like it's like they were acting out this story about this play that was written. It's weird to describe. But it was an interesting watch. Like I said, I've never really watched any of this Wes Anderson guy's stuff, whatever. I know he did like the Grand Budapest Hotel and some other stuff like that, whatever, which I've never seen. But like I said, it was an interesting watch. It's nothing that I would highly recommend going out and watching. It's like if you're looking for something to watch, or whatever. In my case, I had like a coupon, a $5 off movie coupon that I could use. So I was like, you know what, I'll use it on this, whatever. So like I said, it was an interesting experience, or whatever. But like I said, just nothing that was like, oh man, I can't wait to talk about that, or whatever. Which, going back to how I'm handling stuff, whatever, going forward. So of course, I do go and see a lot of movies, watch a lot of shows, read a lot of manga, whatever. I've always kind of done this in some sense, or whatever, but even more so now, to where like everything I read and watch or whatever is not gonna get a separate review, because I kind of want, it's got to be something either super special or something just worth talking about for it to get a separate review. Otherwise, like Asteroid City, I'm just gonna talk about it in this podcast or whatever, in passing, but it's not gonna get a huge separate spotlight. Like I said, I've been watching some fantastic stuff lately. Like Silo, the season finale is coming up at the end of this week, so that would definitely be getting its own review. I've also been watching this awesome show called The Bear, which I guess I kind of mentioned those real quick. So Silo, even though depending on when you if you watch this podcast episode in a few weeks or whatever, the review will probably already be up. But Silo, basically, the setup for this is that for whatever reason, almost 200 years ago, seemingly all of humanity had to move into this underground silo. So it's like this multi-hundred story giant silo, whatever, that everybody lives in. Like all of it's, and of course, as how these things are, the top is like the high class, then the middle section is kind of like, like where like the cafeteria and like, the kind of like government officials, so to speak, whatever, and then the bottom it's kind of like we're like the quote unquote kind of like poor people, but also some of the most important people because they're helping to keep the machines and stuff running. But basically, humanity lives in this silo, and the story follows this sheriff who is basically searching for answers because his wife starts to kind of unravel some secrets of the true nature of the silo and of this world, because a lot of people that are in the silo now have lived there for so long that they don't know of the outside world. They don't know about anything from the past, or they only know life in the silo. And so there's this like very interesting stuff where like normal everyday stuff, whatever, like set of earbuds or earbud case, whatever, is considered a relic, and it's kind of like taboo to own a relic, to own stuff from the before times, so to speak. And so it is just like very good. Like I said, I can't wait to have a more in-depth discussion about that in the review, but I've been watching that, and I've also been watching this show called The Bear. Now, The Bear, it is this show that follows this chef who basically, he went off to college, and was working in a world-renowned restaurant or whatever, one of the best chefs in the world. Well, a family incident happens, and he comes back to basically kind of run his family's restaurant or whatever, and it kind of follows these characters and their journey into, him coming back home, and then the other staff that's been there for years. They're all trying to learn how to coexist together, and also having to deal with various life issues and griefs and traumas and all this stuff. It is freaking fantastic. I just watched episode 6 of season 2, which that's kind of how this kind of bubbled up, because of season 2 just came out last weekend, and so earlier this week, I can't remember, I think last weekend, and so I kind of brought the conversation up or whatever, and brought it on my radar from some cool people that I follow, whose opinions that I trust. And so it's been a fantastic watch. Can't wait to discuss that as well once I finish watching that in the coming days. I'm trying to think. I think that's mainly it for shows. I did watch this anime. I still don't know if I'm gonna review it or not, or whatever, because it didn't really stick with me. Shoot, what is it called? Sorry, let me see. Shows I watched recently. Where are you at? Grimgar, Fantasy and of Ashes and Illusions. But I think it's also called a Fantasy and Ashes, or whatever. But Grimgar. It was a solid watch. I watched it on recommendation of the homies Paulo and Tail from Mike Check. But sadly, it didn't really speak to me too much. But I get it though, because I think because of at the time when it originally came out or whatever, it was kind of like very unique for what it was. It definitely has a very pretty art style. But when I watched it, it was just okay. So like I said, I still don't know. I might do something with that down the road. So but anywho, aside from that, I think that's it. As far as like main stuff, that I've been watching or whatever. Reading wise, I honestly haven't really been reading much manga in the last like few weeks. I feel like, because One Piece is, it started its own hiatus for a month while Oda is getting some eye surgery done. We did get a trailer for the One Piece live action, uh, which was looks interesting. I'm gonna give it an honest shot. Which, speaking of One Piece, shout out to all the people in the community on Twitter and stuff, whatever, that I follow, who have been starting their various One Piece journeys recently. So it's been very awesome just seeing y'all's tweets and conversations and surprise. And I'm happy that even in 2023, freaking 20 plus years later, that people are still able to enjoy the show. There are people who have still avoided some of the biggest spoilers of the series and stuff, whatever. And so it's great to still see people get to have those genuine reactions and stuff to some of these crazy moments and stuff. So, but yeah, I haven't really been reading too much, which hey, it just means I'll have lots of very awesome binge reads coming up. I will say, I found out a few hours ago that Mashal of Magic and Muscles, the manga for that is ending next chapter. So when chapter 162 comes out this Sunday, that'll be it for the series. So I'm probably over the coming days going to catch up just to see how it ends and stuff, whatever. Because I'm like 35 chapters behind because I haven't read it in a while. Because Mashal's always been one of those series where I've enjoyed it best as a binge read, but like this last arc hasn't really done much for me or whatever. But I still enjoy seeing the crazy fights and stuff, whatever, and the art for it looks fantastic. I know a lot of people have been enjoying the anime, so that's very dope. And speaking of anime, Oshi no Ko got announced for a season 2, which is super dope. So I still need to go back and finish watching the anime, but most of y'all know I've been reading the manga since this time last year, so I'm close to being caught up. I'm a little bit behind now because it's been a couple months, I think, since I've read, but it's still fantastic. All the clips and stuff that I've seen, the few episodes I did watch, whatever, they just did a killer job with that show, and I'm just looking forward to where things go, or seeing them do more seasons, I should say. Sorry. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's it. The summer anime season is coming up soon, but I'm still behind on. I'm still behind on some winter stuff. I still haven't finished Trigun Stampede, which is crazy from the guy who freaking named his son Vash from the series Trigun. But I'll get around to it and a lot of other shows, whatever. So, but like I said, going back to what I talked about at the beginning, like just being okay, just going at my own pace. I am proud of myself once again. The other day, I went into Barnes and Nobles after I left the movies the other day, and I walked in and walked out empty-handed. Now I did pick up a couple of things where I had it in my hand for a few minutes, but as I've started doing, it's like, Robert, you're not going to read this anytime soon. Put it back. It can wait. But yeah, so as y'all can see, that this, especially this stack of manga that's been waiting to get hauled for many months now. If you look back over my videos for the last few months, whatever, this same pile has been here for months. But like I said, it's just kind of getting my mind back right, because I want to get, and like I said, kind of try to relieve myself of keeping up with so many different shows and games and all this stuff, whatever. Just because, and I think I might have talked about this before, but how I noticed that like my memory and recollection of stuff was slipping, and part of it was because I've been like I was consuming so much media and stuff, whatever. But something else I had thought of was like, well, that's not necessarily the only problem, because when I first started that first year and a half or whatever, I was reading stuff left and right like crazy, whatever, and I was still able to somewhat coherently remember stuff for recordings and stuff, whatever. But the thing that I realized, which a funny story I'll talk about in a minute, is my lack of rest. I'm not getting enough proper rest for my body to recover, and so I know that affects your mind and all that stuff. Cause funny enough, today I overslept and got to work. I think like 2 hours, almost 3 hours. Actually, technically 3 hours for my normal time or whatever. But of course, I'm grateful that I have such a flexible job to where I can kind of come and go as I please in some within obviously reasonable parameters. Um, but something that I've been wanting to do anyways for the summer is certain days of the week I just don't have my alarm on, and I just sleep. And then I just go to work, and then I just stay late or whatever if need be or whatever. But that's what happened today. And I wasn't even doing that intentionally, whatever, because I remember I got woken up at like not one, at like 5, because Vash was doing something in the middle of the night or whatever, and so lay back down, and then next thing I know, my wife is kind of like, like shaking me a little bit, being like, "Hey, are you going to work?" Now, I've told y'all before, I'm usually one of the last people to go to bed in the house, but I'm also usually one of the first people to get up. When I get up, normally I get up and get going. Everybody's still knocked out sleep or whatever. So hearing my wife be like, "Are you going to work?" I was like, "Oh crap, what time is it?" And when I double tapped my phone screen, it said 9 a.m. I was like, "Well, I guess time to get going." So, but it was just funny. My work mom, as I call her, had texted me on my way in. I was like, "Good morning. Are you okay?" And then I was like, "Yeah, I just needed sleep, whatever." But it's like taking moments like that, because it's like I do go above and beyond at work sometimes or whatever. Sometimes, but like I said, a lot of times that was because of necessity. Of I got up super early because I needed to get off early so that I can go and do the practices and the games and stuff in the afternoon or whatever. Well, now, you know, uh, my wife kind of helped balance me out with that or whatever, and I'm not having to do that every day like I was previously. So I was like, okay, certain days of the week, I'ma just, sleep in either with no alarm or just have a later alarm set or whatever to give myself a little bit of a buffer. Um, but yeah, so like I said, that's why I'm trying to like I've been like cutting down on reading so much stuff and trying to keep up with everything, because it's like I have like maybe a handful of things that I am dedicated to, reading or watching every week. And then other stuff, I'm just gonna let it build up, and then just take an afternoon and just binge read it, just binge watch it or whatever. And so I think that's gonna work the best for me for a little while going forward. And like I said, it kind of gives me, with this new schedule I'm doing, more flexibility to even help myself out even further down the road, because now I'm having to break mental habits of like, yo, everybody talking about this manga, or oh, everybody talking about this new show, whatever. I need to hop on it right now. And it's like, no, I don't need to do that or whatever. It's like I have enough stuff recorded to where I'm good for a while, and then whenever I get around to that thing or whatever, then hey, that'll just be something that I can just schedule for later on or whatever. So because it's like there's some stuff that I've watched and read and recorded or whatever, that, like I said, like the thing that's coming out in October or whatever, you know I've already done that or whatever. But like, there'll still be times where I want to be catch the algorithm and be part of the conversation and stuff, whatever, and get this kind of like that like early wave and bump or whatever. But other stuff is like, this thing is already old or whatever, or it doesn't really matter when it comes out. I can just say that for a rainy day, so to speak. So, and like I said, I've enjoyed that. Like I said, I've just felt so much more free, not trying to be part of all the active conversations and stuff. And like I said, that's kind of a thanks to people in the community. Shout out to Professor Liquid, because he had I was going through his podcast, uh, where he has conversations with different people about their life experiences and stuff, whatever. And he had this guy on named Alex Malone, who I think he was a big guy within like the fighting game community and mental health and community and stuff, whatever too. And hearing his conversation where he talked about how he walked away from doing stuff within the fighting game community, not because he hated it or whatever, but because he realized he wasn't taking care of himself properly and wasn't spending adequate time with his family and his kids. And that kind of like really spoke to me in many aspects, to where I'm like, man, like life is really passing by, and it's like I'm already so busy with stuff to where it's like I don't want certain moments with my family, with my kids and stuff, to go by because I was rushing to freaking, you know, review uh, review the new season of whatever show or the next chapter, whatever manga, whatever. It's like nah. It's like you know. I know those of y'all that care or are interested in what I have to say, y'all will be there whenever I put it up, whatever, whether it be immediately when it happens or whether it be many months from now whenever I get the time to get to it. But I kind of, like I said, wanted to refocus on myself and my life, my family and stuff, whatever, and make sure that they are okay and that things are going good with them. So yeah, so I guess with that being said, I'm already freaking 40 minutes in. So I'm trying to think, was there any other like non-gaming stuff I wanted to touch on before I dive into stuff? Let me see. Nah, not really on the stuff. I'll say that new Ninja Turtles kind of animated movie or whatever that's coming out, I think in August, whatever. That looks freaking dope. And speaking of which, the cast for that, let me look it up real quick. All right, so just listen to some of this cast for this Ninja Turtles series. Jackie Chan as Splinter, Seth Rogen as Bebop, Io Edaberry as April O'Neil. And the reason why I mention her name is because I'm just not really discovering her because she is in that show that I'm watching right now called The Bear. John Cena as Rocksteady, Ice Cube as Superfly, Post Malone is in it, Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter, Paul Rudd is playing a character in it, Hannibal Burgess, James Marsden, Steve Bloom, and some other people. Whatever. I'm not too much familiar with the four kids that they have playing as the Turtles themselves, or whatever. But just all those names I've named by alone or whatever, that's a freaking dope cast of people that's gonna be involved in this. So like I said, it looks freaking fantastic. I'm excited to go see it. And I'm also interested. I'm also probably gonna take my middle son, the one I took to go watch Spider-Verse. We're probably gonna go maybe watch the new Transformers movie too, whatever. Because I grew up loving Transformers, and especially I grew up loved watching Beast Wars. And so with this one kind of surrounding the Beast Wars stuff, whatever, I gotta go watch it, whatever. So yes, I'll probably go and see that. And I think that's it for as far as like main gaming, non-gaming stuff. I've been up to like I said, I haven't really been reading much. So yeah. So let's kind of start diving into some of this gaming stuff. So first off, so before the news, I want to just touch on just a few of I played a handful of demos or small pieces of games recently. So of course by now Final Fantasy 16 is already out, but I played that demo that they put out, which is the first like 2 hours of the game, and if you play the demo, your progress and stuff will just carry over to the full game when you get that. But so I've never really gotten much into Final Fantasy at all, Cause growing up, I didn't have any of the early PlayStation and stuff, whatever, myself, and I was never really big into RPGs and stuff like that. But I had such a fun time playing that demo to where like part of me was like, you know what, maybe I'll scoop up some coins and go and play this and pick up the full game. So I don't know, I still might or whatever, but who knows? Or maybe I'll get it later on sale. But that demo was super good. I highly recommend anybody that if you're interested in the game, and like I said, if you're like me and you've never really played any of the Final Fantasy games and stuff, whatever, this one is definitely more on the action side of things. But it was super dope. Playing through, like I said, the first 2 hours of the game. And they unlock, after you beat the demo, they unlock this kind of like small section that is kind of like a small portion from like way deeper in the game, where you have a lot more different abilities and stuff, whatever. So it also kind of gives you a glimpse of some of how the combat and stuff will work later on in the game too, whatever. So so that was dope. There's a demo for Lies of P. I'm not sure if that demo is still up or not or whatever, but I played that. That was interesting and immediately confirmed what a lot of us thought, which was, this seems like Bloodborne but with Pinocchio. And it is Bloodborne with Pinocchio in a Bloodborne world, except for because immediately, like, as soon as you go to first go in an area where some of the enemies and stuff are, they're kind of like slow lumbering towards you, and then do like the slow deliberate swings and stuff or whatever like that. And so I'm like, and as soon as I was like, kind of like either blocked or like dodged back and then went in for the hit, it was like the exact same 1-2 hit combo to start off like you do in Bloodborne. Except for like the dodge roll isn't as fluid and responsive as in Bloodborne, which I hope that they kind of maybe tighten that up before the game comes out in September. But I really dug the look and the atmosphere and stuff of it or whatever. So that was fun. There was another demo I played for this game called Viewfinder, which is a puzzle game. They kind of deal with different perspectives to where, like, as you go through the levels, you'll find a photo, and so you'll pick up the photo, and it might be like a window, or like basically like it might be like a different environment. Well, you pick up the photo, you place it somewhere, and then you can literally walk into the photo, into another level or whatever. So it was pretty dope. But of course, after a while, I was like, okay, these puzzles started ramping up. But it was an interesting little thing. And lastly, I started playing this game called Anodyne. It is basically kind of like inspired by like a Zelda Link to the Past type of game, as far as like the overhead perspective. You going like the side scrolling through the different tiles of the levels and stuff. Overall, it looks like the game isn't that long. Maybe it's for sure under 10 hours, I believe, when I looked up on the How Long to Beat website. But like I said, it was a pretty cool, or it's been pretty cool. I haven't played it since last week or whatever, but I enjoyed the little bit I played of it or whatever. So I look forward to playing that, finishing that up, and like I said, checking out some other stuff that's coming up soon. So I'm going to just touch on very briefly some of this stuff. Not too much of it, but like I said, just like the Microsoft versus the FTC court case stuff, whatever. It has just been just so many just like juicy details coming out of that. People fumbling on stuff that's led to more leaks and stuff. Because like today, some Sony documents that was brought to the court case or whatever. Whoever was in charge of like striking out information that's supposed to be like redacted or whatever, they used a Sharpie, and so when the document got scanned in, you can still see the quote unquote redacted information. So like stuff as far as like details as far as like the development cycles, how many years, how much it cost, how big was the team staff, revenue, all that stuff for like Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Forbidden West got put out there. Information like Microsoft was considering buying Bungie again and Sega and Square Enix at certain points. What else? Information has been coming out. They confirmed that the Indiana Jones game, that Machine Games, the team that did the recent Wolfenstein games, that game is going to be Xbox and PC exclusive. That came out through all this stuff. We got a little bit more insight on the things that led to Microsoft buying Bethesda a few years ago was because after Sony did some deals where like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo was locked down as PlayStation exclusives for a year, Microsoft heard that PlayStation was planning on, I don't know if it's going to be a timed exclusive or just full out forever exclusive, but they heard talks that Sony was trying to make Starfield exclusive to PlayStation 5, and so Xbox was like, nah, we'll just buy the whole studio. Or we'll just buy that whole company to avoid that happening. And I'm trying to think just some other just juicy details and stuff like that or whatever. So but yeah, so that all has just been like just very interesting. And there's, I think Thursday, the day when y'all probably hearing this, whatever, there'll be more information that'll already be out by then. But yeah, so it was just very interesting, like I said, just getting a behind the scenes look, because like I have a tab open all day at work, and every so often just throughout the day I'm refreshing that tab because there's gaming journalists and media and stuff in the courtroom, or they're live tweeting or putting up information about the court case. So yeah, so all this has just been very fascinating to see happen. So now we can finally start diving into some of the games that I'm most excited for. Like I said, I'm definitely going to talk on everything. I'm going to touch on some stuff in passing just for general information that some of y'all might be interested in or whatever, even though I'm not. But and I'm probably not going to do a timestamp for every single game. I might just do just timestamps for just the company. Okay, hey, Nintendo games, Ubisoft games, whatever. And just kind of, but there still would be just other smaller discussions along in between there. So I kind of want to start off with some games that are kind of outside some of the bigger ones. Now one I kind of want to just give a shout out to whatever, even though I've never really watched any of these movies or anything from this franchise, the Aliens series. There was a recent game that came out a few weeks ago called Aliens Dark Descent. And so the game is kind of like a tactical type of game, kind of like in like the style of like the recent XCOM games and stuff. So like I said, I just wanted just to kind of like to put it on some people's radar and stuff, because even though like I said I'm not too big on, or I haven't really gotten too much into the alien stuff, and I'm not too big on like those type of like tactical type of games, but I figure it still might be that somebody out there might still at least want to be aware of. So aside from that one, the other one that I am very excited about and interested in, it's this game. Let me see if I can find it. Oops, sorry, y'all. This game is called Beastie Ball. Now it's made by the same team who did Chicory a couple years ago. Um, and it's basically, think about it like Pokemon meets volleyball. And so that alone kind of got my interest, but they didn't just say volleyball specifically. They also mentioned Haikyuu, which is the anime and manga series. And in the trailer for this, when they first started, whatever, they were showing off one of the bookshelves of like the somebody on the development team. And let me see if I can pause it. So not only do they have Haikyuu on their manga shelf, but right next to it is a series that I adore called Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. And so I was like, oh yeah, this studio has my attention, because not only did they mention, it's inspired by kind of like Pokemon and Haikyuu, but the fact that somebody on that team is also a lover of Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, I was like, okay, I definitely got to put this on my radar. So, but it looks super fun, looks super cute, and like I said, just something just very different. Like I said, I just wanted to put on somebody else's radar. So, what else? Another fun one was the new Sonic game, Sonic Superstars. Now, this is one that I know Vash is going to be very excited. Whoops, sorry. Vash is going to be very excited about, because Vash loves playing the Sonic games. He loves playing Sonic Mania and stuff all the time. But yeah, so it's a new 2D side-scrolling Sonic game. Like I said, it looks super fun, super adorable. We're gonna have all the usual, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and also now Amy as playable. And like I said, it just looks just so colorful and just so vibrant and stuff. So, but looking forward to playing that. I think it's scheduled for later this year. Yeah, sometime in the fall. So, but yeah. So Sonic Superstars. Now, let me see. Where do I want to start? You know what? Since I got the hat close by, Nintendo, and specifically, let me get my tab pulled up. We're getting a freaking new Mario game. Let me see. Where is it at? Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which is going to be coming out freaking October 20th, which is the same day as Spider-Man 2. Why did y'all do this to us? So October 20th, we're going to get freaking Mario Wonder and Spider-Man 2 together. But honestly, I could do nothing but smile the whole time watching this trailer, because I love how much personality and stuff is in the characters and stuff now, because it's a little bit slightly different look from the new Super Mario Brothers series that they've been doing the same art style for a while. And so yeah, and so now there's like this like I said, just like saying like all the facial expressions of all the characters, how he moves and stuff, the trippiness of when they get this like this wonder flower thing, and how that messes with the environment and stuff. It just looks so freaking fun and fantastic that I am just beyond excited to play it. All the usual characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and now Daisy as well. But I am super happy to see this game get announced, and there's gonna be some new elephant form that we'll see what this craziness is about. So, but yeah, so Super Mario Wonder, super excited for that. Let me see, just some other like little information stuff. They're bringing Pikmin 1 and 2 got put onto the Nintendo eShop that same day, and they're also going to be putting up a demo very in the coming weeks for Pikmin 4. I've never played any of the Pikmin games, but a game I played last year that I really enjoyed that I still need to go back and finish. What is that game called? Tinykins, which is kind of like a Pikmin-esque game that was on Xbox Game Pass. So I really enjoyed playing that. So I'm like, maybe I need to give Pikmin a try. So maybe I'll try out the demo for that soon. What other stuff? They announced a new WarioWare game, Warrior Move It. Star Ocean R remake. This game, Penny's Big Breakaway. So this is the game from the team who made Sonic Mania a few years ago, and everybody's been like, man, like, where are they at? When are they going to come back? Well, now we see what they're doing. So this game follows this girl named Penny who has like a companion / weapon thing that is like a yo-yo, and so seeing her go through the levels and stuff, whatever, just looks super fun and super cool. So that's what I'm super excited for. That one's coming out. It says it's listed for early 2024 is when it is listed for. So Penny's Big Breakaway is the name of that game. So looking forward to that. Super exciting. Like I said, that people that loved Sonic Mania or whatever, so look out for that. A new Dragon Quest Monsters game. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, they're doing Dragon Quest, but with like a Dragon Quest Pokemon game, whatever. Little did I know that apparently the Dragon Quest Monsters series is back from like the early 90s, because there were some Game Boy Color versions of this games in this series from back then or whatever. So it's very dope. Always cool to see like old series kind of get revitalized for modern days and stuff, whatever. So that's very cool. New Mario and Rabbids DLC, which I still need to try out that series. Which maybe that might be my gateway into getting into more of like the XCOM kind of like tactical type of stuff, because I've heard that the Mario and Rabbids games is really good, kind of like introductory games to get into that type of genre. So maybe I'll give that a shot. They announced a new Detective Pikachu game. Detective Pikachu Returns. I enjoyed that Detective Pikachu movie from a few years ago. Who knows, man? Maybe I'll try out the game. I don't know. Now, speaking of games coming back, they're doing a Super Mario RPG remake. So this is one I'm trying to think. Did I play? Oh yeah. I did play a little bit of Super Mario RPG a while back, because if I remember correctly, I think it's on one of like the old NES Classic collection thing on the Super Nintendo, or the Super the NES Mini that they did some years back that I got. But this looks very dope. I love seeing them going back and doing the updated visuals to these older games and stuff. So it'd be kind of cool for a lot of people that never got to play these games back in the day, to finally get to experience it or whatever. So because this was a game that was created in collaboration with Square Enix, or I guess Squaresoft back in the day. So, but I know a lot of people are hyped for this. I believe this is coming out in November of this year. So Super Mario RPG remake coming later this year. They also announced that they're doing like Princess Peach is going to be getting her own game of some sort sometime next year. They show maybe like a few seconds of gameplay, but not too much to really go off of. So we'll see what happens with that. Trying to see, is there anything else of note that they're talking about or that they got announced. I think that's mainly it for Nintendo specific stuff. Yeah, nothing else that I really want to talk about. So that's it for mainly like the Nintendo stuff. Um, Whoops, did not want that going on. Next up for me, a few ones that I'm interested in. I'll just kind of mention in passing. It was cool seeing gameplay for the Assassin's Creed Mirage. Like I said, forgive me if there is sound. Okay, there isn't. But you know, a lot of people have been wanting them to kind of go back to the old school Assassin's Creed gameplay and stuff, and that is what it looks like you're gonna get with Mirage. So it definitely goes back to those early pre Assassin's Creed Origins look and stuff, whatever for the game. I don't know if I'm gonna play this anytime soon, especially when it's coming out. It's coming out in freaking middle of October. I think October 12th. Well, shout out, that's my oldest nephew and niece's birthday. But I'm not gonna have the capacity to play this game. And plus, I'm kind of a little bit burnt out on Assassin's Creed. But with that coming out literally a few days before Alan Wake 2, which I'm very interested in playing, but both of those are coming out days or the week before Spider-Man 2 and Mario 1, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Assassin's Creed is definitely very low on the totem pole of priority. I might not even play it. I don't know. One game I might play early next year that they showed off, they revealed a new 2D side-scrolling Prince of Persia game called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So this is a side-scrolling, and it's not the trailer I wanted to get. Laura, where is it at? I can't find it. But anywho, point is, it's a 2D side scrolling Prince of Persia game. I never really got too much into any of the Prince of Persia series at all back in the day, but this one, like I said, looks very interesting. I like the visual look and stuff of it, of how the main character looks and everything, but it looks like it'd be just a fun side-scrolling action adventure game. So I'm very interested in giving it a shot. So like I said, I think this is scheduled for December 18th, 2024. So something very early next year to look forward to. So, but Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown looks dope. Going to be on my radar. Now, these two games. Let me see. Let me get them queued up. So, both of these next couple games are being developed by the same studio, which is Studio Massive from Ubisoft, the team that does The Division. And I've talked about before about how much I really enjoy playing the Division video games. Well, the first game is this Star Wars Outlaw. Is it Outlaw or Outlaw? Star Wars Outlaws. Which is supposed to be coming out, I think, sometime next year. Yeah, but I could immediately start seeing some of the Division influence on the game. But this game looks freaking super fun, super fantastic. I'm trying to find the description of the game real quick. Star Wars Outlaws. Let me see. It is a big open world game. So okay. So experience the first open world Star Wars game set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. Risk it all as Kay Vess. So the main character, her name is Kay Vess. A scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life along with her companion, Nyx. This kind of like animal creature companion thing you're going to have. Fight, steal, and outwit your way through the galaxy's crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. But yeah. So like I said, I'm just excited for this, off the strength of it being from the Division team, man. Because like I said, I enjoy those games. I enjoy those these environment and stuff. Whatever, the games always look really good and they're fun to play. So but yeah. So I'm very excited to dive into that when it comes out. The other one that they are working on that I was surprised by my interest in is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, which we've known that they were working on a Avatar game. And of course, reminder for people that aren't watching the video, this is Avatar, the blue people Avatar, not Avatar the Last Airbender. But they were working on a open world Avatar game made in the style of a Far Cry type of game, because it's in first person, giant open worlds. You're hunting creatures, fighting off, taking over like enemy camps and stuff, whatever. But man, like visually, this game looks freaking stunning. Like I said, just like with Star Wars Outlaws, this game looks fantastic. Like you flying around on your little companion thing, the hunting, the gameplay, it just looks freaking stunning. And this one is going to be coming out actually December 7th, if I remember correctly, for the release date. But yeah, this game looks fantastic. I don't know if I'm gonna get to play it immediately, but it's one I'm gonna put on my radar. Heck, I might get it for my wife potentially, because my wife is a huge Far Cry fan, and even though I don't think she might not have any interest in the Avatar world, she might just be interested in at least just getting a taste of that type of gameplay though. So who knows? We'll see. But like I said, that game showed off super well, so I'm very, very, very excited for that. And I think those are like the main ones from Ubisoft. Yeah, Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, Star Wars, and Avatar. Yeah, those are the main ones that I wanted to talk about from Ubisoft. Now, Xbox had a fantastic show. Lots of great games, lots of great reveals. They finally showed off a little bit of the new Fable game, which I never been too much into Fable anyways, but it's cool to finally see it. This game, South of Midnight. This is from the studio. What is the name of the studio? Compulsion Games. Now, they did a game some years back. There was a PlayStation 4 launch game called Contrast that I really enjoyed the visual look and style of. And so the fact that they're back with a new game called South of Midnight with this like very unique art style, and it takes place in the South. I'm in Texas. I got family that's from Louisiana, Deep South. Hey, I am here for it. We don't have much other like we didn't get any type of like real gameplay or whatever from it yet. But we just got this kind of like tone piece setting trailer or whatever, which like I said looked really cool. And like I said, just kind of getting to hear what the setting and stuff is for the game, just definitely has me interested. So yeah, so South of Midnight on my radar. For all of you Persona fans, they announced the Persona 3 remake, a new Persona 5 Tactics game, and a new game called Metaphor Refantasio. It's a new game from the Persona, some of the original Persona 4, 3, 4, and 5 creators, or whatever, starting a new franchise, kind of like a fantasy take on Persona. So be on the lookout for that. They're doing a Tales from Monkey Island and Sea of Thieves crossover. Payday 3, don't really care about that, but it got announced. It's coming out in a few months. Where is... Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Clockwork Revolution. Now, Clockwork Revolution, this game is from the studio In Exile. I think they did Wasteland 3, which I haven't played. I've heard good stuff about it, but I might check it out on Game Pass anyways. But this Clockwork Revolution kind of gives me some freaking like a Bioshock Infinite type of vibes and stuff. But it's as far as like the setting and stuff, whatever. But there's some type of like time mechanic in the game to where you make choices and stuff, and it can kind of like alter how things in the world, the locations and different stuff get shifted and altered. So I don't know. Looks very cool. Let's say Clockwork Revolution. I think they just said maybe next year, or maybe no. Actually, no. I don't even think they even put any type of year or anything on it. So, but very interested in it. I'm curious to see what it looks like. But it looks like it's something that might be up my alley, whatever. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that one. What else? Like I said, I'm just trying to stick with they showed a trailer for the new Yakuza Like a Dragon. I guess this would be 8, so Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which I guess the 8 is the infinity sign. So another series that I've always been interested in, but it's like, man, like we're freaking 8 games in, 1 million spin-offs or whatever. I don't know. I still kind of want to try it out at some point. So who knows? Maybe I'll get around to it. What else? The studio. I can't remember the freaking name of the studio. The studio that did Outer Worlds. Why can't I think of this freaking studio name, man? Anywho, we're seeing Avowed. Avowed, they showed some gameplay for that for the first time. Freaking Obsidian Entertainment. I don't know why I couldn't think of their freaking name, but they finally showed off some gameplay for Avowed. And they're saying it's coming out sometime in 2024. So shout out for you RPG fans and people and fans of that studio. And those are kind of like the big main ones. There's some other ones I'm a little bit interested in, but I'll kind of just say those for talking about like once they actually come out, because a lot of this stuff didn't have definitive dates and stuff, whatever, which is fine. What else? They announced a new Xbox Series S model with a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's going to be black. They showed off some Starfield limited edition stuff, which might as well dive into that. While I'm trying to freaking find the trailer, Starfield overall looked freaking daunting, to be honest with y'all. Yeah, they did a 45-minute deep dive on this game. And so seeing them do a deep dive this crazy, or this in depth, whatever, and just know that there's still so much more to see and experience from this game, whatever, was just, like I said, just like overwhelming in a sense, because especially because like there's freaking over 1,000 planets in the game, which they confirmed later on that, you know, maybe about 10% of those is going to have life or whatever, and a lot of the rest is just for kind of like exploration and getting resources and stuff, whatever. But still, it's like even still like 100 planets or whatever, like is a lot. But this game looks so freaking crazy and dope. I don't know. It's not like a big top of my radar for me to play or whatever, but it's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's kind of like, why not? I might at least dive into it just to kind of see for myself the insane scale, of this game. But yeah, it might be a bit too much for me. But like I said, the game looks super cool. This is definitely this is the type of game that changes people's lives in so many different ways, like from just like the memories and stuff, whatever, to giving inspiration to people for the type of games and stuff that they someday might be inspired to try to build and make and stuff. But yeah, all the character customization, the customization of your ship, it's all just freaking crazy. Like, having getting companions and crewmates and all this different stuff, the different enemy factions and all of this stuff, man. It was just just so freaking much. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around. But like I said, I might at least jump in, give it a test run and stuff. So, but I probably will never finish this game. So, but like I said, I am very excited for the people who are excited for seeing some of Bethesda, a new game series from the team behind Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Just to see them kind of get to flex with something new and something different. So, but yeah, Starfield, that was a heck of a info dump that they gave on that game. So, but yeah, so like I said, should be very, very fun, very good for those people. I'm trying to see if there any other stuff. I think those are kind of like the main highlights for me from all the gaming stuff that kind of got talked about and announced and stuff recently. Let me just do kind of like a last little glance. Okay, yeah, those are kind of the main takeaways I wanted to talk about from the last few weeks of gaming announcements and stuff, whatever. And honestly, this honestly feels like the closest it's been to like that kind of E3 vibe in the last few years, which was kind of cool. Like I said, kind of like get that feeling again. Sony did its thing almost a month ago at this point, and then like I said, Nintendo had a really good presentation. Xbox knocked that out of the park. Ubisoft had some solid things, and then there was some other stuff that kind of announcements and stuff around these big shows, whatever, that kind of bubbled up and at least got on my radar and stuff. I appreciated all of these different studios, like I said, that did all these different demos for like freaking Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, and so on and so forth. Yes, please, more demos. Especially for a dad like me, that is up here trying to pick and choose with his coins, what games and stuff to invest in. But yeah, but pretty much after this last month of showcases and stuff, whatever, like about a month ago, whatever, like the fall was looking a little bit sparse, whatever, which we knew. We've always known that games will be coming in the fall, but there wasn't like too much on the calendar. Like we had maybe Starfield listed for September, but even that was only announced a few months ago or whatever. So, but now it's like October is probably the most packed month, because like I said, we have freaking Assassin's Creed Mirage, Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, Alan Wake 2, and some other stuff kind of like in that small pocket together. I'm excited to freaking try to maybe try out Armored Core 6, because they put out like a game, like just straight gameplay trailer thing, whatever, a few weeks ago, and man, that game looks fantastic. Um, the Mortal Kombat 1 story stuff looks so cool. And like all the changes that they made there were like, like a Sub-Zero and Scorpion are now brothers. Melina and Katana are twins, and all this different changes and stuff, whatever. So, but I don't know. Either way, I feel like if you're a gamer, no matter what style of game you are interested in, you're going to find something to enjoy and to play, whether it's one of these big, super big games like Starfield or Mario or Spider-Man or whatever, or something kind of more in the middle like Alan Wake or Armored Core, or even like a small indie game, like I said, like south of like the Beastie Ball and stuff like that. So, but yeah, overall, super dope showing. And I'm trying to think. I don't think I have too much else to say today, man. Like I said, I did a lot of talking up front. So, but like I said, thank y'all so much for supporting me and stuff. Shout out to those of y'all that have been here since the beginning, and all the people that have come along on this journey over these last 2 years and stuff, man. It's still kind of wild to even say that, hey, I've been doing this for 2 years, and just seeing my own personal growth and how I've kind of shifted around how I handle stuff, whatever, over this time, and adapted and learned, and taking lessons from others and kind of like trying to apply it to be better and do better myself and stuff like that. So, but like I said, I hope that those of y'all, like I said, that are enjoying this, look forward to more awesomeness from me. Like I said, more dope conversations. I have so many awesome conversations with guests and stuff lined up in the future coming, but I gotta get some internet crap situated or whatever, or my laptop, whatever the case may be, which is kind of why that's kind of slowed down some things with what I wanted to do. But hey, I know I'm gonna get there eventually. And so in the meantime, like I said, y'all will just be getting lots of very dope reviews and stuff, and hope that y'all check out some of these series, movies, TV shows, different anime, different manga, eventually I also want to start incorporating, highlighting more games and stuff too along the way. I hope that y'all enjoy those reviews, and maybe I'll help put something on y'all's radar that maybe you hadn't seen or heard of before. And of course, as always, I'm always welcome to y'all reaching out to me and giving me suggestions for stuff. If y'all see me talk about something or review something, whatever, it's like, yo, Rob, if you enjoy this, you should also check out that. Please do so, whether it be you leaving a comment on the YouTube version or reaching out to me on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, heck, even TikTok. I have an account on all of them, even though I might not be as active all the time, but I do check my DMs and stuff, or you can always email me and stuff as well. But all the information and stuff will be down in the show notes below. Yeah, so like I said, I am just very excited as I continue to make this shift and kind of just like adapt how I do the podcast and all these reviews and content and stuff going forward. So, and I look forward to see like how much I potentially grow over this time. And one thing I will say as well, y'all already know I do this, but just for anybody that might be new here or whatever, those reviews and stuff have timestamps, and I make it clear in those reviews and stuff when I'm doing, because I like to try to just do upfront general discussion and description of the series or the show, movie, whatever, game, and then I will let you know when I'm going to spoilers, because like I said, for most of those, I like doing both. I like kind of giving just like kind of like a general spoiler free discussion, but I'm Dad Needs to Talk. If I'm making time to carve out time to do a recording or whatever, then best believe I'm gonna get off my chest what I actually think and feel and enjoyed or didn't enjoy about whatever that review is about. So just wanted to mention that for anybody that might be new or whatever. And of course, and I can't remember if I did this last time or whatever, but shout out to the people who are supporting me. Shout out to the homie Matt, who's been supporting me on Patreon. Those of y'all know, my Patreon is mainly there just for support purposes, mainly because right now I don't do any exclusive content on there. I just don't have the capacity to do so. I already do a lot, which is why I'm slowing down. But that's just kind of a way to just, hey, if you just want to help, help me keep the lights on, or with equipment and or different, my website and different stuff, whatever. That's what that's for. But also shout out to the people on Spotify. I have freaking 10 people that popped up a couple months back or whatever that's subscribed to my thing on Spotify or whatever. So shout out to y'all for, helping fund this operation and stuff too. I don't know where y'all came from. I'm guessing y'all all maybe came from the same area or something or whatever, because all of y'all came around the same couple of days. So I don't know. But whatever it is, just know that I am eternally grateful to you, and everybody, like I said, whether it's financially or not, even just you liking it, sharing my stuff, retweeting it, posting on Instagram, whatever, talking about it on your shows. It's all greatly appreciated, and I love y'all so much for doing that stuff. But yeah, so lots of greatness coming in the future. Like I said, I'm very excited for y'all to hear me talk about so many dope things, and like I said, for some of these very awesome conversations I can't wait to have with various people, and for y'all to hear about different people's journeys, because I'm gonna have conversations, a mix of conversations about specific shows and stuff, but also conversations with people about just life and different experiences and stuff, which y'all will see on the one that I should be dropping at the end of July. So, but yeah, but enough rambling. It's almost midnight. I need to get off, and then I'll get this uploaded and stuff, and then we'll work on the rest of it while I'm at work. But real talk, thank you so much for listening and or watching. As always, you can find me everywhere at Dad Needs to Talk. And I look forward to hearing from y'all. But with that being said, I'm out of here. As I always say, treat yourself to something nice. And also, I've got to mention, my website, my redesign is up. Let me know what y'all think of it. I know not many people go to websites and stuff nowadays or whatever, so, but I had to kind of redo some stuff a few weeks back or whatever, so I forgot, I never even mentioned that, like, hey, it's live or whatever. So, but go check that out. But enough rambling. Thank y'all so much for watching and or listening. As always, treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga, watch some anime, TV, and movies, play some video games, and live your best life. And with that being said, I'm out. This has been Dad Needs to Talk. And thank you so much for joining me for another awesome conversational podcast. And with that, your boy is out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.